Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to look at British service rifles of the post-war period, from about 1945 up until about 1986 or so. Just bear in mind, I don't have an EM2 or an EM1, or do I have a L85A1, or normally known as an SA80. So this would mainly just be the two main service rifles that saw the most use in those periods. So from the immediate post-war period up until, say, the late 1950s, and then onwards until 1986 or so. So we'll get into it now, and catch you in a sec. So here we have the main service rifles of the British Army throughout the majority of the Cold War period. Now, the EM2 ballpark rifle was adopted for about a year, but then it was replaced by the L1a1 Slr. And I do not currently own a replica or a real L85A1 at the moment, so this only goes up to 1986 or so. But we'll get on with it. So first we have the number 4 Mark 1. So number 4 Mark 1, later then substituted by the number 4 Mark 1, Mark 2, sorry, the number 4 Mark 2, which was made in lighter beech wood, and with some slight adjustments on how the trigger mechanism was made, etc. It was mainly done to the body rather than separate. So I believe that's the right around. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, alterations, to the trigger assembly and to the way the bolt was moved, etc., etc., and the way it was floated, I believe. And obviously, as I said, the finish of the wood, etc., was a different wood entirely. So here we have the main number 4 Mark 1. This is a Savage-made one, so it's marked US property. So I'll just bring it up to here. Let's see here, and then if I put it over to the side, it's upside, probably upside down. S number 4. Let's go back in here again. There we go, US property. It is upside down, I'm afraid. The Mark 1 sights, but the later style of how you remove the bolt has this slight groove in here. And typical of all number 4s, really. Now, the bayonets I have with this, I do have 3 different types. The other one is not here at the moment, but the main 2 types you'll sort of see. One of them is a bit of a standard, but say the number 4 spike bayonet. So there are several different types of these. There was the cruciform type of the early Mark 1, and there was the Mark 2, which is you had the Mark 2 Star, and then I think it was the Mark 2 Star. So it gradually became more crude and cruder as the marks went on, really. But so the spike, simple spike, you've all seen it before. So if you can see the markings, it's batch number, I think. Oops, excuse me. And then what's the show? There we go. Yes. Mark 2 SM. I think, I can't remember what the manufacturer of this one exactly, but the other one I do have is Savage made. There we go. Below that we have a number 9, but this specifically is a South African number 9. So just see the markings. If you can see the markings, there's not really any on that side. No on that side either. Oh, I thought there was markings on this one. Oh well. But yeah, so unlike the standard number 9s, this one has a joint point blade, if that makes any sense. Means it perfectly meets like in the middle as a tip, rather than the Bowie type blade that you'll see on normal number 9s. And also in number 7s. As I said, I do have a number 7. Oh, I had another bayonet, which is a number 7, which was the type introduced after the war, which basically is Bowie blade, the handle that was used on the number 5, well, rifle number 5 bayonet, but then with the attachment to fit it onto a number 4 or a Mark 5 Sten. It wasn't really that wanted, really, because it was more lethal to the user rather than the actual enemy, so to speak, due to the fact of the O-ring of the actual handguard of the crossguard of the bayonet itself stuck out about 4 inches beyond the barrel, and was possibly able to get hit by a round coming out the barrel itself. So not very good. So yes, this is the basically the South African number 9. So I'll quickly pause and we'll get it out the sheath. So here we go. As I said, it goes just like a simple point, and it's like a flush blade. It's a very, very nice blade though. Still do exactly the same sort of damage, and a bit cheaper to make, really, I'd say, than the normal Bowie blade. But you'll see exactly what the Bowie blade was, and when we get onto the next rifle as well. But so that's that. I'll quickly get out the spike bayonets as well to compare it. As you can see, basically almost the exact same sort of fitting points. It's basically like a socket bayonet. It twists, so you go halfway round, twist and click, and then when it clicks, it's all in place. And there's a plunger on the bottom to remove the bayonet itself. So as you can see the difference. As I said, the manufacture of these got cruder and cruder throughout the war, but this was mainly the main standard bayonet of British infantry during the Second World War, and even to the immediate post-war period, to be replaced by the number 9. And number 7 was mainly just withdrawn to ceremonial duties, really, if being on use on the number 4 or the Mark V Stens. So that's that. And a quick another look over the rifle itself. So as mostly in fields, you have a trapdoor, where your cleaning kit, etc. will go. And there's that. Just to accompany it, we have a Mark III steel helmet, typical of what was being used in the late to immediate post-war period, later to be replaced by the Mark IV. The way you can tell Mark IVs from Mark IIIs, because Mark IIIs, the liner is attached by a screw system, screw in a nut, like the original old Mark IIs. The rivets for the chin strap are set much higher, so it's there, rather than nearer to the rim. So there's the liner itself. As I said, it's a screw and nut type liner rather than a lift the dot system, which came in later. Move that out of the way. That's the Mark III to accompany the number 4. So now we get on to the next rifle. So here we have the L1a1 Slr. So Britain's adaptation of the FNFAL, the Fabrique Nationale Fabrique Automatique Légère, I think it was, which is the FAL. Basically, during the early part of the Cold War, Britain was looking to replace its main service rifle, the number 4, with something more homegrown. So they were looking into the what would become the EM2, which was adopted for a year, as I said earlier, but due to international pressure from the Americans wanting to adopt the 7.62 cartridge, and the EM2 had to be used for that. But then also Churchill was pushing for us to use the Belgian-made FN rifle, so we had to adopt this. Now, it would have been a good turn and very strange and different turn if Britain had it officially adopted for its long period. The EM2 would have been very good, especially if it was in its original cartridge of 280. That would have been a very, very good rifle. But due to the pressures of the American Ordnance Board and some certain people in there wanting to adopt their service rifle in 7.62 and so on and so forth, it's a story for another time. I won't get fully into that now. But here we have the L1a1 Slr. This is in its later configuration with the plastic furniture. It is a certain type of plastic. I can't exactly remember the name. I apologise for that. But it originally would have been adopted in wood furniture, so wood buttstock, pistol grip, and handguard as well. Also, the early, very, very early adoptions of the FNFAL did not have the same type of flash hider as this one does, and had a different type of cocking handle. Basically, they were just FNs before we had manufacture in this country. So what the British changed on the rifles. So we had a different type of sights. These are flip-up, adjustable to sights. These got to 600 yards or so, all the way up. As I said, they flip down so they can be put out of the way. Select to switch, basically just for single and semi-automatic. There is no full auto function on this rifle. Basically because the rifle is not uncontrollable, but it's very difficult to use as full auto just for one man, especially because it's only a 20-round box magazine. It's just a waste of ammunition at that point. Rather, you'd be easier at using aim shots from a single semi-automatic rifle, basically. There's the takedown catch, so to strip it down, to break down, flip that, and it should come apart. Later ones would change slightly, I think. As I said, 20-round box magazine, so this was on the inch pattern. So there's the slightly different release catch as well. The charging handle was changed from a standard notch round knob charging handle to a flip down style, and it's I think it was non-reciprocating as well, as far as I remember. As I said, the plastic furniture as well is more of the later style, sort of the mid-70s onwards, really. And obviously the different style of muzzle flash as well. Sorry, yeah, you know what I mean. Flash hider, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Yeah, different style of flash hider. So that's that. So that is the L1a1 Slr. So firstly adopted in the late 50s. So first, FNs were seen out in Malaya in about 1956, and then the first sort of SLRs were seen in the properly British manufacture was seen in the early 60s in like Aden and Borneo, etc. Later being synonymous with the War of Northern Ireland and the Falklands War, etc. in 1982, and so on and so forth. Last being sort of seen in proper combat, part combat, I should say, in the first Gulf War in the early 1990s. So that's that, really. Now we'll look at the bayonet for the L1a1 Slr. So this is, if I get the nomenclature right, should be... It's on here somewhere. There it is. Number system, the L1A3. Spin it around because everything's upside down at the moment, apparently. L1A3. This is the slightly later ones. Early ones would have wood grips, etc., to accompany the wood furniture. And this is adopting, obviously, the Bowie blade or Bowie blade type of blade. So I'll quickly pause here and we'll get it open for you. So here we see the blade. Very, very nice condition. If we bring it up to here, so we see the lot number. I think it's the lot number, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is not a blood groove, before anyone says. It's just about lightening the metal, the steel itself, and also it gives it a bit of strength as well, but it's mainly to lighten it and cheapen and make the manufacture a bit cheaper, but it lightens it and it doesn't lose any of its strength. The whole blood groove thing is a bit of a myth. Mainly, it's just basically just a lightning cut. So that's the blade itself. Beautiful, beautiful blade. Just compare it to the others here. So sort of the evolution. The proper British number 9s would have this blade basically on this fitting, but the South African ones were different in that way. So that's that. Cool. And to accompany this, we have the Mark V. As I said in the previous videos, technically this is just a Mark IV with a Mark V shell, but it's a Mark V technically. But it's basically a Mark V shell, liner with a Mark IV shell. So that's the Mark V liner. So it's like this jumper material, sort of fiber skeleton liner, and then the shell itself, and it's lift the dot system as well with all the scrim etc over it. I've got a clasp or a 58 pattern webbing on there to sort of attach it to your web when you're not wearing it. So yeah, so that's that really. I'll fit the bayonets on and we can have a look when they're all fixed. Okay, so this is what it looks like when the bayonets are fixed on the rifles. So that's with the spike bayonet. I'll do a switch around with that in a second to the other one. Very, very mean bits of kit. End of the day, if the bayonets are fixed and you're able to use it, something's definitely happening or something's gone wrong, really. But End of the day, a bayonet is generally for using when taking a position. Also, when a bayonet is normally produced in battle, the enemy isn't really going to stay around long if they see it coming, really. Because there's one thing getting shot and dying quickly, another thing getting stabbed close quarters with a piece of steel. Really, it's not exactly a pleasant situation to be in, really. But yeah, many different reasons why bayonet may be produced in battle, but it's a very good way of clearing ground, let me tell you. So I'll quickly swap round the one on the number 4, and then we'll wrap up the video. So here we have it on the number 4. As I said, this is the South African version of the number 9. And that's just how it looks on the rifle itself. It looks very, very good. But yeah, that's really it, really. I hope you enjoyed, and then we'll cut back to the wrap-up. So really, really hope you enjoyed that. Only a little brief video really today, and look into sort of the service rifles and the bayonets that we use for them, and kind of look a little bit at the helmets that went alongside them, really. So if you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'd be really, really appreciated. Also, if you want to check out my TikTok, I've uploaded a new video up there today. So that's Jake Brown 47. It's just what the number was, really, what I had a choice of. Also, if you want to check out the podcast, so the Young Contemptibles podcast, a new episode came out the other day. When I chat with a World War II veteran of the Oxen Bucks. His name was Reg. Really, really worth listening to. Also, we've got other episodes coming up soon, which we think you really, really like as well. So new ones on Op Banner will be coming up shortly too. So again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.